Hi, I'm William Landis, and I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. I would love to teach choir or music theory at a school one day, but I also really want to write music for video games and cartoons because that music had a really big impact on me as a kid. But that's now. I have to talk about my musical past a little bit. My first experience with music was learning to play the saxophone when I was 8 years old, and I played and practiced the sax pretty consistently up until about 10th grade when piano and guitar, in addition to voice, kind of had taken over at that point. Um, my earliest memory of singing was mainly between 5th and 7th grade when I had some solos in choir, and I was actually playing a video game called Beatles Rock Band in a friend's basement, and his mom told mine, hey, you should get some voice lessons for him. And that's how that started. And so I've now been getting voice lessons for about 6 years or so, maybe a little bit under 7 years. Um, like I said, I've been playing the saxophone since third grade. I've been playing the piano and guitar for about 3 years as well. And in my senior year of high school, I dabbled in the upright bass a little bit. And once the year had ended, I really liked playing the bass, so I continued my studies on bass guitar. As you can tell, my voice is my main instrument, but I love playing instruments, and I love picking up new ones, and I like talking about them, and it's just such a great time for me. And throughout my development as a musician, many of my own kind of personal machinations and projects were inspired by music that I had either performed or listened to in a variety of settings. And so I'm going to give you a small sample of music that had a direct impact on me in my development. One song that had a really big impact on me early on is from a video game called Bionicle Heroes, and the song in question is called Hero Mode. When you're in the game and you collect enough Legos, your character turns bright gold and becomes invincible, which cues the music. Hero Mode embodies just the seamless integration of digital and traditional orchestration found in the game's soundtrack, while achieving its goal of making the player want to just destroy everything in sight. It's a really invigorating piece of music. Once I'd gotten the hang of a few scales on the sax, I was constantly teaching myself to play music from the games that I played. Hero Mode was one of many melodies that I taught myself by ear on the saxophone, and it was this endeavor and others like it that really started cultivating my ear for picking up music and for picking up melody. And that's a raw talent that was almost surely passed down to me from my dad. This next song involves one particular person who was absolutely vital to what would become my musical autonomy and my free thought in being a musician. Runaway is a song by Matt Mahaffey, who is my favorite musical artist, otherwise known as Self. I discovered him in about 2012 after hearing his songs in a YouTube video, and once I started listening to his music, I became absolutely obsessed, but in a good way. This really marked the first time that I was actively seeking out more of a particular band's music. Matt was a pro drummer by the age of 11, and the unique rhythms found in the music that he wrote are just always going to be in my head.
She said, let's dance till the world explodes and the 54 speakers reach overload. She's got me asking her why. Tell me what you're running from. Let her run away. Pain is not the only.
When my freshman year of high school started, I found out that Matt and his band were performing in New York City. My parents took me, and of course I knew every word to every song, and it was frickin' awesome. My happiness somehow reached an even higher point about 6 months later when he released new music for the first time in a decade. I could not believe that I was seeing new Self come out. It was just awesome. Runaway became Single of the Week on iTunes shortly after it came out, and Matt plays every instrument himself when he writes his music. So in addition to shaping my taste in music, he also planted the seeds in my head that would go on to make me want to pick up more instruments and just love learning to play new instruments. In the fall of 2014, I had been taking voice lessons for a little bit less than 3 years, and I'd been exposed to a lot of classical and choral music by that point as well. As a sophomore, I had only one elective class to choose, and I decided on a beginner piano class because I was curious to find out if music was something I really wanted to get more invested in. Can't Keep Johnny Down is a song by They Might Be Giants, another favorite band of mine, and it's the first song that I performed on piano in public, and it was just an invaluable experience. As someone who'd been teaching myself music by ear for the better part of 7 years, it really represented the next step in that evolution.
Man piled up in a towering mound, none of them once has found a way to keep Johnny down. Spending days by myself, remembering slights I'm not among, human to justice, flaws which I don't forget to face, and they can't keep Johnny down.
I would later start focusing more on reading music and traditional piano pieces, but playing a song that I really liked, it kick-started my interest in playing the piano. By the time my junior year of high school had ended, I was sure that I wanted to be a music teacher. I was helping my friends who struggled in music theory, and that proved to be really rewarding for me. And in my senior year, I was an intern for the Wilmington Children's Chorus, the community choir that I'd been in for about 6 years at that point. It gave me valuable insight into what made rehearsals successful, what goes on behind the scenes, logistically and musically. It was really great. I'd been with the chorus since about 6th grade, but now I was behind the scenes in a really, really big way. But I still had an uncontrollable urge to write music, and I decided to take inspiration from my favorite cartoons and video games to write a piece called Not Quite. It's for piano, and I entered it into my state's composition contest. And even though I didn't win, the extremely positive feedback that I got from the judges really solidified my desire to study composition in an academic setting. The summer of 2017 marked my last performance with the Wilmington Children's Chorus, and I had just the awesome opportunity to arrange a piece by the Mills Brothers, who are a vocal jazz quartet and one of my favorite musical groups. They did an arrangement of a song called Till Then, which is a pop song that they turned into something of a jazz standard. I decided to write down most of what they had already arranged, in addition to optimizing some parts of the song for easy and quick learning. I arranged the piece for a bass and 3 tenors, in addition to providing the electric guitar accompaniment myself. Words, they can't describe how fun that entire process was for me. I helped my friends with their parts, I made practice recordings, and I even had my first experience accompanying, a small ensemble. Sitting at the helm of my own little group was absolutely priceless, and the performance could have been the worst in history, and I'd still be over the moon about how valuable that experience of really putting together a piece was.
Till then, my darling, please wait for me. Till then, no matter when it will be, one day I know I'll be back again. Please wait. Till then, our dreams.
Those are just a few of the many pieces of music that really inspired me and influenced me as a musician and as a person, too. If it turns out that I teach a class at a school somewhere, be it choir or music theory, that's going to be really, really awesome. But if I write music for games and cartoons, that'll just be so, so cool. Whatever happens, I'm going to be making music. And that's really the most important factor here in what happens on the other end of college. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.